we brought these plans. These plans for the pool. Phase 2 of the park is the pool building and the pool. And that's pretty much it. Some landscaping around and whatever to tie the whole area into, phase 1 that is going to be starting construction next month. So phase 2 includes, the actual pool facility and the building for it. So we won't be demoing the existing pool until phase 3 to put the parking lot in over there. So this shows this isn't final plans. So what you said, but this is schematic. So we wanted to make sure that we have approval on the schematic of the pool facility before we really push forward with final design. Just make sure we're, all on the same page, have, your initial approval, and then we finalize all the, nuts and bolts that go into it, like the, the pump systems and the, all of that kind of stuff. Like we have to get all of this laid out prior to designing any of that stuff. And that all leads into like sizes of rooms in the building and things like that. So just really setting the design of the pool here. So it's hard to see there. So I'll just zoom in and we can start from like the left to right, the west side to the, to the east. So we're showing a competition size pool here with 8 lanes like we talked about, several times. We are going to put in some anchors for starting blocks if needed in the future, but they'll just be capped for now, and those would be, down here. This whole pool is like the size of the competition size of the pool is 59 by 82 feet about. So that's, just standard competition size for 8 lanes. And it's 5 feet deep on the one side and goes to 4 feet deep on the other side. So just the depth needed for this double loop slide, which is similar to what you all have now at the pool. So that's, shown here, going into the deeper end of the competition side of the pool. So there's, the decking around, around the pool is wide enough to line it with chairs or whatever, and then the area down at the bottom in the south side of the whole facility is, would be wide enough for tables and chairs or whatever, whatever layout you want to put in there. And then there's a pretty good size space here as well in this open space. So the other part of the the large pool, I guess, is the combination portion of the pool. So this is the multi-purpose area, we're calling it, and it has this kind of dog bone looking feature in it, which is like can be seating around the inside of these circular areas. And I have a picture I can pull up of a pool that has a similar feature so that you can see kind of what that looks like. And then the sun shelf is like, it shows on there, it's 6 inches deep, like on the shelf. So it's a good place for like little ones or parents to sit and watch the kids play or anything like that. Steps down over here on the left side. And then this is the zero entry that we've talked about. So going, just walking right into this side of the pool here. I'll zoom in a little bit more because it's hard to see. There'll be some like sprayers in this area. Whoops, oh boy. Zoom out. Some sprayers along the zero entry part just to have a little fun features there. And then there's a kind of like a seating bench on the side here and a little swim lesson type area, and then an ADA ramp access down here with a railing. So that's pretty much the main features of this this larger sized pool, and just kind of in comparison for you know, to understand the size, the existing pool in the park is, you know, about like the size of about like that sort of, I would say, you know, that part of the pool. So just for your awareness, I guess, on the sizing.
Can you go back to the swim lane part? I think it's important kind of to notate on this section too, that those are like swim lanes that'll be painted on the bottom. And then when they're not in use, it'll be a recreation area also. So it's not designated just for swim lanes. It'll be part of the actual pool as well.
And Wendy, what is the depth of the combination pool?
5 feet on the south side, 5 feet deep on the south side, and 4 feet deep on the north end.
No, I'm talking about where the sun shelf is.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so that varies. It's, you know, obviously 0 feet deep in the zero entry, and then it kind of, you know, slides into about 3 feet deep across like this zone. And you can see some of these depths on the drawing. These little symbols with a depth here. That's what the 4 foot depth, you know, on this side of the dog bone, and 4 foot depth on this side too. And then you can see like the sun shelf is just 6 inches deep and 3 foot 3 inches like to the side, all the way around it. And in the kind of swim lesson area, it's about 3 feet deep. So these little benches are about 1 foot deep, so a little bit deeper than the sun shelf feature. So then going over to this kind of play pool area, this is where we have like the kind of kiddie features, I guess. This is I'll show you, the next page has, you know, photos and renderings of these features, but this will be like a big kind of splash pad area where there's like little slides and sprayers and things like that. And then around this area is the little like geysers that shoot up out of the ground, the water around there. And then this will be 0 entry as well, and this is only 1 foot depth throughout this pool. And then down to the bottom right is just a basic toddler pool. It's just 1 foot deep for just, you know, the babies and parents to, you know, hang out with the babies and have no kind of kids running around and bonking into the babies and everything. But that also has this 0 entry to it as well. So then just to go through like some of the features that are included on here, and then we can do some questions or anything. These are just kind of cut sheets from what these features will be placed throughout the, you know, the play area and then the multi-use kind of area a little bit in the entryway. So these are like those jet features that I mentioned, and the geysers, and then these dumping bucket features will be in that play area, as well as this typhoon water feature. So this is kind of an aerial view, like a bird's eye view of the typhoon feature, and then like a you know, a side view of what would be placed in that play area. And then we also have email. This is that dog bone photo that I mentioned, just to see that. And then there's one, I think, of people like sitting in it. See how you know, it's kind of a little spa area-ish, but not heated extra or anything like that. So that's the kind of the gist of it. We have, like this is what we've come up with so far. Another option, would be to kind of make the multi-purpose area more of the play pool area, and like put those, spraying more of those dumping buckets and maybe like an umbrella, thing in the multi-purpose area, and eliminate the play pool if you, want more space for seating, or, a rental area for parties or something like that. But we were thinking this is more along the vision, that everybody was kind of having. But, that's a possibility as well, if that was a concern at all.
I have one question. Like the dumping buckets and the splash pad, is that water recirculated or does it go back? Because it doesn't now. It does not recirculate, so that's a water issue, like a water usage issue,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Like, are you asking if it's treated and stuff?
No, it doesn't, like,
Well, when we were talking before, we were talking about, yes, it would come out of the existing pools.
it doesn't now though, right?
Right, now it's coming straight.
I think that was maybe, I don't know, but maybe that was because it was put in later and it wasn't tied into the whole system. But this, will be all put in at the same time. So it'll be, the most state of the art, the most up to date equipment and everything like that. So it should be hopefully very low maintenance.
5 feet deep is the deepest portion of the entire.
Yes,
section.
yeah, over in the slide area.
What did you say the depth was from where the lanes are? It's 4 feet on one end, and what's the other one?
5 feet.
Oh,
It only goes up to 5 feet, yeah.
I'm thinking about the water.
Yes?
Is the splash pad heated?
Yes, I think they said all of it would all be heated the same, the same.
Any other questions from anyone?
What's the cost of the 25 million? How much is this going to eat up of the 25 million?
It's budgeted in,
That's not what I asked you. I asked you for a price. I've asked this question 4 times and nobody's given anybody an answer. If we got 25 million and we got 17 projects going on in the park, this is going to eat up a significant amount. I just want to know what the amount is that it's going to use. Is it going to be 17 million, 13 million, 15 million? Because Lorraine did this and it cost them 17 million. So if we take 17 million, we got 8 million for the other 16 projects. I'm just, how's that going to work?
Well, I mean, it just all comes out to be the 25 million. Right now, we've been tracking the budget all along to keep track of making sure that, what we're doing in phase 1 right now is already out for bid. So, that's all going to happen exactly how we presented it. And then this gets added to, the total. And then phase 3, with the playgrounds and the baseball fields and the paving, that's all, we budgeted all to fit into that 25 million. So, I mean, what we presented in the exhibit of the entire park is what is, included in the.
Okay, I have another question. When the first time that you guys were here, way back last May, June, July, you presented a very detailed, very extravagant, so to speak, bathhouse and pool house. When you came back in September, October, what you presented was very generic. Which is it going to be? Is it going to be the nice one or is it going to be the generic one?
You're talking about the outside, like rendering
I'm
look?
talking about the pool house area, like when people want to go and change and get ready to swim. Because you showed two pictures, you showed a very nice one, and then the second one was like basically what we got right now. I'm just, if we're gonna do this, let's do it the best we can do it. Let's don't skimp on it.
Well, I mean, like you just said previously, that it takes out of the overall 25 million, but if we want to, you know, I don't know, the pool house is built to, or is going to be designed to, you know, what the architect was showing at the previous meeting. But there's, you know, there's choices that can be made with like what type of brick, you know, is used and those types of things. But I mean, there's not much you can do with a building like this to, you know, pretty it up too much. It's just a pretty, you know, it's just a pool house, but there's choices that can be made with the, you know, the presentation of it.
As I remember the second drawings that we saw later, it was explained to us that those renderings did not include the landscaping and things which we'd seen examples of prior to.
Right, they were just
So it
very
looked
basic.
It looked, as Jan says, it looked generic because those
Yeah.
things weren't, so we could see the actual building.
Right, then the ones that were shown, you know, last year were, you know, renderings that were just kind of sketched. You know, they were just sketches. They weren't actual engineered or you know, they weren't the architectural drawings.
Any other questions?
Is it going to be brick?
I am pretty sure it is brick, but I can check. Yeah.
Have you considered?
I can bring up that last presentation that we had and look at it, see what it was.
Have you considered the brick facing to save money? I'm not saying you should, but.
They were doing split face block on the last presentation for the pool house. Two different colors.
Oh.
Like the stadium.
And Wendy, am I correct that those details are gonna be, you would be back next time with those more details? This is just to get the schematics of the pool.
Yes, the actual
Right, so you
pool,
can
yeah.
get the underground and figure out where everything's gonna be and pricing wise that way. Is that correct?
Right, yeah, we really just need to figure out, you know, we need to set this like size and features and all of that kind of stuff so that we can do the, you know, the design of what all needs to, you know, make this pool function.
So the next phase would be maybe full renderings of the outside and all that stuff for coming back to council. Would that be a good assumption?
Yes, yeah, we'll come back, we can, you know, more fully finalize the building once we get like the room sizes laid out based on the equipment that we need and everything. And that's like this wing of the building is all the chemical storage and the splash pad controls and, you know, all of that kind of stuff. So we need to figure all of that out, what needs to be in those rooms. It'll be like shifting walls around a little bit and then, you know, finalize the, you know, the interiors of the building and the, we can come back to get final approval. Yep.
So you need a
So-
motion from council to move forward with that.
Right, yeah.
I have one question too, for Tracy. We used to have 2 kiddie pools.
Mm-hmm.
Why did we close it? So like, is there a need for the kiddie pool, or is it gonna not be used, or like, could that space be used for something else?
One was used for the concession area. That's why we closed it.
Well,
One hit.
But then they actually had to be closed because of the way that was just pool water that was
Just
just
sitting
going through
there.
Yeah.
a pipe, and it was not treated water, and there was no filtration. It was just, you'd fill the pool up, the water would go through the pipe, fill the food pavilion. There was no,
Stagnant water.
Yes.
so that's why we were made to close the one.
So do you think that the kiddie pool area would be used now?
You know, for a short
Like,
time,
yeah.
yeah, heck yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it would be used.
I think it's a great feature.
You mean separate the.
Like the toddler pool area, yeah.
Circular toddler pool.
Yeah.
That's only like 6 inches to
Mhm.
4
Yeah,
feet.
yeah, because she was talking about
Yeah,
it.
because if the other one's only an inch, or I mean a foot,
Yeah, this one's a foot deep.
yeah.
and it'll be, you know, the wild and crazy kids.
I was just asking.
And then this one's a foot deep, and it'll be little.
I think the
Yep.
toddler pool would get used.
Yep.
So we don't know how much money we're putting into the pool itself.
I mean, I don't know off the top of my head, but I have it. You know, I have all
I
of
think you
that.
guys are working off of a budget that you have
Right.
originally designed out,
Yeah.
a certain amount of a budget. And
Right.
you're trying to stick within that.
Yeah, I mean, we can add like 50 of those umbrella things, but then we'll be like going over the budget.
So what's the budget for the pool?
Well, there.
There isn't necessarily a budget for the pool, there's a budget for the whole project.
For the whole project, yeah,
Right.
but to budget it out, you have to have, I'm gonna spend this much for the pool, this much for the basketball court.
Yeah, I mean, there's a little, you know, a little leniency, give and take, you know, for each item and stuff.
What is that
So,
gonna take? You know,
not off the top of my head.
I think that price might vary depending on what elements we go with.
well, right, that's what I say, you gotta work within a budget, what's the budget?
Right. Yeah. Yep.
Inside itself, so it's pretty much concrete throughout. There's not going to be any artificial turf or green space.
Right.
anything
Right.
else.
Yeah.
Is there accommodation for a concession stand and ticket booth?
Yeah, that's all in the building. Yeah. We have the ticket office and the lockers and restrooms and then the concession stand over here on the end so that it can be open to the pool or open to the park side if it ever needed to be or wanted to be.
Where is parking from there, from what we're looking at?
To the right. The parking will be where the old pool is now, like in the future after the old pool is demoed and everything. So temporarily, once this is built, it'll be, you know, parking wherever, how you park now. And there'll be like a walkway from right here, the entryway. I'll zoom in a little bit more. The entryway right here, there'll be like a walkway, and then to cross the road there, and a big parking lot where the existing pool is now.
What's our timescale? So we okay this schematics and this, when are you looking to do phase 2 and phase 2?
We're hoping to finalize design within 8 weeks
Okay.
from like
when-
to this
what
week.
is your projected end date for this project itself, the pool house completion? Has that changed from the previous, or are we
No,
speeding up the process here?
no, definitely. I mean, the main construction, the critical path for construction will be the building, not the actual pool. Build, you know.
To have the project done by pool season 2025.
Right. Yeah.
So that would be Memorial Day.
Next year,
Yes.
all of this?
Yes.
Okay. Months. Yeah.
Okay, you have a motion from council to move forward with the schematics as they are currently drawn.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Any other business in reference to the park presentation? We have a motion to adjourn.
Make that motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.